Hello, guys. My name is Jay. In my discussion and issue reading topic was Is addiction a brain disease? Um, this is a huge controversial debate going on right now, whether or not addiction should be labeled a brain disease. And let's dive into it. So, what is addiction? So, the formal definition of addiction is the fact or condition of being addicted to a particular substance, thing, or activity. And to put this in my own words, I put, based on the research done, addiction is when an individual relies on something for a rewarding outcome, whether that be dopamine releasing in the brain or a feeling of accomplishment when it comes to video games or social media, since there are other types of addiction. Um, there's always a reward involved, some way, somehow. So, some questions that I wanted to get you guys thinking about before I dive into the topic is do you believe you are addicted to a particular thing? And if so, do you believe that causes outside of your control made you become addicted? Um, whether it was just your choice or peer pressure or stress, etc. If you guys could think of an instance where that might be true to you. Um, and something that I also wanted to touch on because I'm in a social media class currently about addiction in the social media realm. So I wanted to ask, with social media becoming more popular, how do you think addiction to social media differentiates from addiction to a substance, if at all? Um, when it comes to substances, there are many abnormalities in the brain, changes to the brain structure and the brain function. Addiction as well could do the same thing. Um, and change the structure of the brain, how we think, what we think, the way we think it, etc. Social media is becoming more popular, and it's being seen more evident that people are becoming more addicted to social media and technology as a whole. So, what causes addiction? There are many factors that can cause or further addiction. Factors like peer pressure, as I mentioned, the exposure to drugs, stress, and the environment around them can cause addiction. Those who are struggling with hardship in life, whether it be domestic abuse, sexual abuse, mental health reasons. There are many reasons in which someone could initiate starting a drug, and it could be factors that are outside of their control and factors in hardships, way of life that make them start the substance. And so the main question at hand is the addiction something outside of their control? And once they become addicted, is it considered a brain disease or is addiction separate from brain disease? And that is a huge topic I'll be going over today. So, an overview of the issue, just to sum things up, there is a controversy over addiction and whether or not it should be labeled a brain disease. Um, for the pro side of things, a lot of people who do think addiction should be labeled a brain disease, there is a lot of research and evidence to back that up. Whereas arguing that addiction is not a brain disease is more an opinion and comparison, as you guys will see. So I just wanted to let that know. Many believe on one side that addiction is out of the control of the user and is a brain disease. Many believe due to the prolonging effects on the brain that addiction is a brain disease. So many believe that how addiction shapes the brain and changes the brain could attest to why it is a brain disease. And on the flip side of the coin, what I will be arguing today, many others believe addiction is a mere choice and should not be compared with disease like cancer, in which the person had no choice whether or not to get the disease. Um, that is a reoccurring theme that I've seen throughout my research and that you guys will see throughout this presentation. Many people compare addiction to diseases like pneumonia, cancer, heart diseases, etc., um, to show the differences and the emphasis of uh, how severe other diseases can be compared to addiction. Let's dive into it. So, who is involved in the issue? While hard to comprehend of the stakeholders while I was researching it, one thing I did find was people who could potentially benefit are the substance users themselves. With the brain disease model of addiction and labeling addiction a brain disease, it has led to improvements in understanding and treatment for these substances. And studying addiction in the brain disease model has helped develop evidence of biomarkers, what each cell is doing in a moment, so uh, how the addiction is affecting the brain and what it's doing to the brain and the reason why it's doing that to the brain. So the substance users could benefit from labeling brain disease or addiction as a brain disease because it could help improve the treatments that they receive. Another stakeholder you may say is the government and the healthcare provider. Substance abuse treatment remains heavily subsidized. While the social and health benefits of substance abuse treatments are not well understood, the majority of substance abuse treatment is financed with public funds. So since it is not recognized as a brain disease, the treatment for substance abuse can suffer, and that is not a priority by being publicly funded. There's not that much emphasis or focus on substance abuse treatment, and it is publicly funded. So another stakeholder you may say is the government because they can provide the necessary tools while looking at it through the brain disease model. So why addiction is not a brain disease? And like I said, more of this was based on people's arguments to why it shouldn't be. However, too much of the research wasn't evidence-based. So to get into that, while many of arguments of addiction are based off opinions and not concrete evidence, an underlying theme that I mentioned before is recognizing diseases and evaluating the differences. The main comparison seen throughout research is the comparison to cancer. The symptoms of cancer cannot stop with the mere choice of an individual, whereas addiction and the symptoms can stop with the mere choice. With true diseases, there are physical symptoms that can cause abnormal psychological function, whereas addiction, there are no abnormalities. So with true diseases like cancer, etc., we could see how it is affecting the brain, and it causes abnormal functions, whereas addiction physically doesn't appear that it shows that. Another reason why I did a lot of research on Mark Lewis, listened to his podcast, who's a renowned neuroscientist, and he also believes that addiction should not be labeled a brain disease. His argument was that you grow into addiction and it takes place through repeated exposure as well as repeated actions. So continuously diving into these substances or being around these substances can help, or not help, can grow the individual into addiction. And the environment in which they grow up in, and the environment in which they are currently in, and how hard life could be can make it more difficult to quit a substance. However, it should not be labeled a brain disease because of that. So the hardships in life or the environment around you may make it harder to quit a substance because of hardships and kind of escapism, going in and out of reality in order to deal with life in a sense. However, that is the choice of the individual and not up to the brain, as some might say. Lastly, another reoccurring theme is that Davis, one of the guys I researched, compared it to symptoms of pneumonia, and again, how it cannot be stopped with a mere choice, etc., like cancer, whereas substance abuse can be treated with a mere choice to stop, as they believe. Also, neural mechanisms are the cause of addiction. However, Davis argues that people are responsive for the merit and decisions to create addictions themselves. So voluntarily picking up the first substance an individual may try is what leads to the addiction themselves, and furthering this process, as Mark Lewis touched on. So, possible solutions. I did a lot of research on possible solutions over this debate, and one thing that I gathered is that the ultimate goal is to treat the addiction. And so, with an overwhelming of research to convey why addiction is a brain disease, the most viable solution is understanding the new research in order to recognize addiction as a brain disease, which can help further the treatment solutions, which is ultimately the goal when it comes to addiction. Something I touched about prior is that looking at addiction in the brain disease model has helped so much research go into addiction and to viable treatments. And something I talked about in my annotated bibliography was a researcher and a scientist, Kono, who has done a lot of research in order to help provide treatments to those who suffer from substance abuse. And she has been able to do that through looking at addiction in the lens of a brain disease model. So understanding these new ideas and new ways of looking at addiction could help further advance our treatments as well as our knowledge as a society of addiction and how it works. And that is the end of my presentation. Thank you, guys.